I killed the light. So other light. Problems with being tall. That's why there's no globe on here. I got tired of hitting my head on it.
You had it. Do you have no? Wait. Stand right here. Stand right here. He has an idea.
If you ever wonder how this happened, lots of low-lying ceiling fans.
And sudden violent attacking parking lots.
Hey, it was a draw. Okay, so today on Crazy Car Projects, we have a product review. I bought one of the battery mobile refrigerators. So far, I've been using it as a refrigerator, and it works really good. It has an app, which I had open a minute ago. Then I got doing something else because we're getting ready for a trip. Now I gotta find the app again.
All right. But it makes ice. It's got a fridge. It's got a freezer.
It's got an app, so it'll monitor. It's supposed to warn you if it gets out of temperature, the battery gets out. It has a battery that's removable. This uses a battery pack as well, so you can use it to charge your phone, run stuff. It goes in. I guess hand me the camera.
Yeah, otherwise we're getting a full moon back here.
Because battery goes in there, and you can see it has a battery pack and lights show you what's up. Charges in here, and you can pull it out and use it as a battery pack to run your phone or devices. Power plugs there for both car and plug-in, which I got it plugged in right now. And also, I believe you can see it down there. It's got a point. I think it has another power off down there. Ice maker, which I have not tried yet. I haven't even washed yet. But it has an built-in ice maker with a tray, a scoop, which I'm not really fooling with yet. Your display, which one thing I will say, display looks good, but it's liquid crystal and it's got a very soft screen, so you want to be careful not to put too much pressure on it. The only things on the review for this product, the things I saw that were big things for where they have problems with it. The camera guy is running away. Here, you can have the camera back. But big things to have problems with it was people trying to use the ice maker on the battery. People trying to bring it to temperature off the battery. It kills the battery. So generally, from what I read on it, you want to get it down to temperature before you have it running off the battery. It does have a freezer fridge. They're separated by a partition. You can remove that partition to gain a little space. Right now, I don't have anything that needs frozen, so I just have stuff I want a little extra cold and then normal cold. Biggest thing you have is you have about 30 degrees difference you can keep between them. And when you have this super frozen, the fridge part's also a freezer. If you have it not so frozen, then if you have anything that has to be really, really hard frozen, it's probably going to thaw some. So you might want to use some insulation if you're carrying really hard frozen stuff and you want something that's not so frozen. Stay cold. And there's your car adapter, which we're going to try out. Hopefully it's long enough. You have a power plug in the back, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. I'm traveling in the Lexus again. It's not my car, so I'm not that familiar with it, even though I've done multiple long trips in it now. I just drive it, and then I get there. This time I hope I'm not driving something junk back, am I?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
Not unless you're buying something. I only got $200 in my pocket, so.
Oh, that's about what I have, so. Well, we are going to Florida, so.
Yeah, we could end up with a flood damaged thing. As long as we're not buying a P1, we should be able to get something with that.
But it doesn't have wheels. It showed it used to have wheels. Apparently don't make that anymore, which is fine. I got I guess another product review of one of the foldable carts that's supposed to be 350 pound capable and has drop down. So it should be, hey, first experiment. I guess move stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's see if this fits. Let's see if the cooler fits in the thing I bought for the cooler.
Remember to lift in a twisting, jerking motion.
Yes. I forgot. I got the one with the wheel locks. So I don't have to chase it all over the place when I don't want to. Hey, so far the wheel locks work, though.
I give him a day and a half before me or him forgets that the wheel locks are even a thing.
The problem is I need room. Also, we have a fan for product review eventually.
I was unaware that we're reviewing a fan, but okay.
Product review. You'll see it in the use in the background when I'm in the shop and it's hot. Product review.
That's Alaska. They usually make pretty good fans.
And it's a tight fit, but it will fit. It's just a tight fit. Maybe it's a tight fit. I got the drop down, so because I knew it was too long, and the drop down has a little kick thing, so it's just shy of fitting.
We measured.
We did. I did measure, and it meets the measurement till I get to the tailgate.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, we measured.
Dimensions may vary.
Hey!
There we go. It's portable, and it can breathe. Actually, I should have put it in that way. That way the breather is on that side. Not that it'll fit in the car this way. I just did this to have to undo it. But I did that so it's Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll probably be parking 20 miles away from the hotel. So that's why I bought this.
Makes sense.
So it will work.
We think.
Now if I can ever get it back out of here. Cameraman.
Push.
Push.
Breathe.
And it's a fridge. It won't let go. The umbilical cord is stuck. English is my first language, even though it doesn't seem like half the time.
No, your first language is gibberish. English is your second.
I'm fluent in that.
Yeah. So far so good with the fridge. We'll keep it live with the updates.
Oh yeah. So far I'm happy with it. Oh, the other thing I will say on the reviews, the other thing I saw that was a big killer for this, leaving your battery fully charged. You're supposed to take it out and store it at like 50%, and just charge it up shortly before you're going to be using it, which is what I did. And if you don't, if you let it go completely empty and store it that way, or keep it completely full and store it that way, it shortens the life of the battery a good bit. And the other thing was, don't store it for long terms of time not used. Because that was the other thing I saw on it, was people were using it and then put it in storage over the winter. Brought it out in the spring. And they didn't specify how they were storing it either. But you do not want to store it on its side. It's a refrigerator.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. The same thing is like storing a refrigerator. If you store it not running for too long, odds are when you go to plug it in, it's not going to kick on.
Also, there is the smell. Everybody knows that smell. The old refrigerator was dead smell.
Mm-hmm. So generally, you want to use it, and it's super energy efficient. So I'm using it as a beer cooler.
Works.
So beer, soda, water, fizzy waters, not a sponsor. But so yeah, right now I've got food stuff in it because I've got the fun tick alpha gal thing. So traveling, eating out's not really a wise option anymore. So travel.
Not unless you want rashes, eh?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. It's not fun. Although it is a good diet, I am losing weight. You know, not eating out and not eating fast food has a benefit.
You save money.
Well, save money and also, cut back on some of the calories.
True.
If I could just quit the sugar I've replaced them with. I'm getting there.
Yes.
But that's it for this time. We're going to load it in the car. I'll show it once I have it loaded in the car. I'm going to try to load it so that everything will pass through the center feed, and we'll have it plugged in overnight in the garage with the extension cord, and then run it off the car.
There we go. Okay, day one, trip start. The cooler seems to be doing pretty good right now. The reason why it's in the back seat, for ease of filming, haha. No, because it won't fit in my trunk.
Yeah, I've discovered a lot of stuff won't fit in the trunk of this car.
Yeah, we might be replacing it. The as you can see, it
on that side.
Works just fine. We've powers on this side.
And while I was loading, it sat for about 2.5 hours running on battery, and used like 5%.
So, yeah.
So
it's pretty economical so far in the power draw, but so far the only thing that's really a drawback is something you can't avoid, which is the weight.
Yeah, which isn't too horrible. It's under 100 pounds loaded, so.
Yep.
But and it's running off car battery, not draining a whole lot. It's not using a whole lot, and it's still at 100%. So.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to leave for 30 minutes.
Yes, so off we go.
Yep.
Okay, microphone's on. All right, there we go.
Going over Lookout Mountain. We're going around Chattanooga because it's deadlocked.
This is not a planned recording, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a neat scenic view, and it's a neat route. If you ever are going south, going to Atlanta on 24, and Chattanooga is deadlocked, go down to Trenton and take the scenic route. You'll see it's nice, switchback road, but you got some pretty scenery, and if it's rush hour time through Chattanooga, you're more than likely to get back to the interstate before you would have gotten to where that exit is, trying to make it through traffic.
It's just beautiful. Beautiful to see.
Kind of a fun road to drive too when you're not stuck behind someone. But I understand. I've driven stuff through here with loads and everything else, and it's kind of, yeah. When you're not driving a nice vehicle, it's white knuckle.
Either way, it is beautiful country to drive back here. If you even only kind of like vehicles, take a road like this, you'll learn how to fall in love with them.
Or realize how bad of a choice you made in a vehicle.
That too.
Doesn't mean you're going to hate it. You just realize, wow, this thing's bad, but I still like it. That's not this car. That's some of the old Jeeps I've had, and how ragged they were.
Oh yeah.
But I always came this way in them because they would not have survived rush hour in Chattanooga.
Trying to give you shots of everything. If we find a clear spot, we may pull over so you can see a little bit.
They let all the lookovers grow up, so.
Yeah.
Mont Eagle's another one where you get some nice views coming down, especially going south. Views are better going down it, heading south, which on 24 is east, but then going north just because it's coming even steeper off, so you have a bunch of ridges coming together. Especially in the fall.
Yep. These are these. A Batman road. Insert the '89 Batman theme song here.
I'm sorry, I've just got Danny Vito as Penguin.
Same era.
I know. That was the next one. always loved this drive in the fall.
Oh yeah.
I said there's pull-offs, but I said the pull-off didn't have a clearing. There's afterwards there's a clearing.
Yep. But we're getting closer to it, actually being able to see something. Can we see something on this? Will we actually get a shot that we can show people instead of
Rocks?
yes, or driving by it at 30 miles an hour?
That was the other thing in Tennessee for Rod Eagle. They actually had put a sign, falling rocks. I guess they got tired of the old falling rock joke.
Yeah. Somebody needs to take away his alcohol.
And we are on Lookout Mountain.
Yep. This is it? No.
That's pretty well it.
Okay. Oh darn! I'm turning the camera off. Then.
Yeah. All the pull-offs have overgrown. Mic on?
Mic? Yeah, mic's on. Mic's on.
Okay. Well, interesting thing. A lot of the reviews stated that this thing would not charge when it's plugged into your car. It's back to 100%. We stopped for lunch and it ran off battery for a little while and just went down a couple percent. But it's sitting at 100 now. And so it is charging off the carport, which the reviews were complaining it wouldn't do that. So apparently it does do that. Maybe it was an older model.
Perhaps it was an older model. Perhaps their alternator couldn't take it.
I was going to say, maybe it's just that we have a car with a good alternator.
Yeah, if you got a weaker alternator, that might not do good. Yeah. But just to show you, there it is.
Yep. Lit up? Okay.
100% right there. And you can see it's on.
Yeah, so it's doing a good job.
So far, so good.
Yep.
Okay, just real quick update this morning. This guy here, 64%. This is day 2. We had it unplugged all night since, what time? About 11 o'clock last night? 11:30?
Last night, and it ran, and that was after a 15-minute drive back to the hotel. It sat for 4 hours before that with no power, so.
Yeah, it was like at 87% then.
It's been about 12 hours?
Yeah, 12 hours. No problems. Everything is still nice and cold. Still cold. Still cold. I still feel air and coolness coming up, so it ain't just one light telling us one thing and the reality being something else. Everything is still cold in here.
Yep, I gotta put this stuff in there.
Yep, and he's about to rearrange and put things in there. So this is day 2 of our trip, and everything is going fine with this thing.
Although the wagon I got, the stupid wheel won't stay in.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not happy with that wagon yet. Who knows? It may prove itself later on.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine as long as you're using it. The biggest thing is that wheel wants to fall off every time.
Yeah. And of course, I gotta say it, it's LED. That's the reason why y'all are seeing that weird thing. In real life, it doesn't look that way.
Yeah,
that screen doesn't look like that.
It's a crystal screen. It's kind of odd.
Yeah.
But the other thing I will say, the app on this thing is pretty worthless because apparently both devices had to be connected to the same Wi-Fi for the app to work. Every time I disconnected from Wi-Fi, one of the others, it quit working, so it's been useless on the trip. I may just have something set wrong, but I don't know.
He is also the king of
making electronics not work right.
Yes. So there is that. But so far so good. Happy with it so far with the way it's performing.
Oh yeah.
And we're about to get packed up and get on to the next leg of this trip.
Yep. Move on.
Yep. It is another beautiful day here in Hotlanta. Beautiful day in Hotlanta. Okay, so real quick update this morning.
Why don't you come over here where you can actually see it?
Yeah, that makes sense. But
I got hats.
Yeah. He got hats. Lots of hats. And as you can see, 69%. Nice. And what we should get our fridge thermometer so we can see if it's actually staying at that temperature.
Well, I know the stuff's staying good and cold. everything that's
Yeah.
pulling out of there seems to be about that temperature, so it's nice cold. So
Yeah. All right. We may not. If we run across some along the way, we'll pick some up so we can test it. Okay, it is about, well, you see the time. And yeah, why?
to keep clowns away.
Thank you, Billy.
I'm blind.
You deserve that.
Ah.
All right, so we're hitting the road again. Goodbye, Atlanta, and we will be
Orlando bound.
and you will see. We'll show you how the fridge is doing on that route. And if we run into a situation where we get some fridge thermometers, we'll throw them in to show you exactly how well it's doing. But
And if we have a clown attack, I have ammo.
yes, but I'm not sure if we're gonna go out of our way for that. All right, now seeing how easy it is to pull off fully loaded.
Well, yeah, I got it in and out at a very busy parking lot. This is the hard part here, is just the fact that it wants to stick on this side. Car had no problem rolling with the weight if I can get it to let go of the cooler. Well, at least the one thing, the cooler won't slide out of it. There we go.
Indy measured. He did measure.
Yeah, and it measures out right. If you don't account for the fact they put this hexy thing on the inside of the bar instead of the outside of the bar, but they measured the outside of the bars because they measured between here. So, but this works pretty good. Only real aggravation on the cart is this one wheel won't stay latched. It does fine when you're pulling it, but if you lift it, it almost always drops out.
Yep.
So, and it's done good. It's been,
Charges in the car fine.
yep.
It's still cold in here.
It's got everything getting cold.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to give them tomatoes. Oh well. I've got an extra bag of tomatoes.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, everything's getting cold.
Yep.
So now I just got to go down and get the power cable out of the car because I forgot to grab that. It's all right. We had no load we had to get anyways.
Yep. So all in all, yeah, that's how difficult or not difficult it is to load and unload,
Yeah,
depending.
it's one of those. Traveling with it in that car, particularly if you have a sedan where you have to put it in the back seat, yeah, I'm just going to unload it when I'm going to be in the place for a while. But if it was something such as a pickup truck or a van or an SUV where you can just easily get in and out, it's not so bad. Although with the cart measurements, I'm used to having a tape measure in my pocket. I don't remember what the width of this was, but I was going to say, if you get a cart to pull it with, you got to make sure, well, it doesn't really show because it's covered, but you might want to get a little extra width because, well, this had extra width, but that took the extra width out of it. So it's actually kind of bowing that, but wearing holes through the cloth already. But it's working, so.
Yep.
Not really a review of the cart. Cart is eh. But it was the next closest one was $50 more. It's not so bad that it's worth spending an extra $50. As far as this thing, I'm really happy with this thing so far. So I have no idea when I'm going to try to do the ice thing.
Yes. Keep in mind that the cooler is only going to be so light, and it's never going to make food lighter. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind at all times. Here we are. Let's try this again. Crazy Carl is loading up the car over there. Say hi, buddy.
Hello.
And tonight it stayed. We had it at full charge. Put it in overnight. What time?
It's been sitting out here about 12 hours, so.
Yeah, about 12 hours.
About 13 hours.
About 13 hours. And it's at 49% right now. It is
hot and humid. It's Florida.
Yeah, it is hot and humid. It is Florida. So if you're taking this cooler, it seems, to a humid or a very hot climate, it's of course going to eat more energy than if it's going to, say, Maine for the summer. So be aware of that. But overnight seems to be okay. power draw wise. No major complaints with it so far. It is still...
Oh, it's still a good temperature.
Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah. It's still a good temperature. We can still see it on the screen here. And it is plugged in. As you can see, it is charging. Of course, that is dependent upon your alternator and your vehicle. So if you're going to be charging it off of your alternator, make sure your vehicle is good and capable of that. So some of the weaker cars or older cars, you might have problems. But we're about to hit the road. Yeah, there's the screen one more time. Okay, just a brief one. This is going to be the last official day of the trip, we believe. 72% this morning, was 97% last morning. We are currently in the middle of Tennessee. It's like 70-ish degrees outside with some humidity. So yeah, as you can see, camera guy in short sleeves. So yeah, it's working fairly well as far as everything goes. Keeping the vents clear, of course, because you know, if you put something to plug that up, you get to see how quickly the cooler catches fire, and we don't want to do that. But we're about to hit the road, get some food, and finish our trip. But very happy with the Ecoflow so far.
It's been really good.
You were supposed to test the ice maker. I guess we'll do that at home.
We gotta do that at home. I never even washed the ice maker, remember?
Yeah, true. So we'll test the ice maker at home, but so far, so good. No complaints.
Okay, now we're messing with the ice maker. But got it cleaned out. Not going to use the first batch of ice anyways. We're going to run it for a little bit with it plugged in. See if we can figure out how to turn this ice maker on. I know this is probably not going to be best. I'm using my phone. Is that on? I think I turned it on. Okay. And now I add water. He thinks I should have and we are going to test its ability to do it with oh, I didn't need to put max, whatever. It has plenty of water, but we're going to run it and see how it does with it plugged in like it did right now. And then we've got the battery still in it, charged up, and tomorrow while I'm working, Lou is going to try to do it with it just on the battery, see if it succeeds, and how well and how good the battery is. It reminds me I need to turn this freezer section back down. So that's back into an actual proper freeze range. I got to move stuff around in there. So, but yeah, oh, finger in the way. Okay, I got it started, and you can hear it running, and it came up, and it started off with 19 minutes. Now it's done 18 minutes, so I guess it takes 20 minutes to make ice cubes. Okay, it's done. Okay, it's done, and now it is going through the thaw phase, I guess. So I think we separated. And now, I'm guessing it's ready. Or maybe not. Okay. Maybe I had to push this button. There we go. Push that button. Okay, now it's ready. Maybe. Ah, you gotta pull while it's doing it. That's the key. While it's doing that, start trying to finagle this out. And then you get nice ice cubes. Interesting. Okay, I over melted them trying to get it out too. But yeah, okay. Next, we'll try it with ice, with on the battery, because it seems to work pretty good. That's pretty good. Little, yeah, they come off okay. So yeah, nice.
Okay, this is a follow-up to what Carl just did the previous day. As you can see, it's still filled with water. It's mostly full right now, actually. And we're about to test this thing to see if we can actually get how far the battery will drain down, actually, when we're running this cooler on just battery and making ice. It's about roughly 68-ish, 70 degrees inside here right now. So don't, I think I got a thermometer on the wall to prove to you. So don't expect, here it is. That's the current temperature right now inside this room. So expect this to use more energy in hotter, more humid climates. So if you're sitting on the beach down in Miami, Florida, for example, in July, it's probably going to use a significant amount more energy than it is in here right now. Well, this is a good test right here. So unplugged, press the button. As you can see, it's 99% right now. We're going to make ice. And 17 minutes. So we'll see exactly how much juice is used in 17 minutes with this thing being unplugged. Okay, so we've just turned this thing. Apparently it's done making ice cubes. And there's a button we got to push here, this button here. I don't know why I just went to 4. Okay. All right. Well, cool, I guess. Waiting again. But it's at 92%. So went from 99 to 92%, roughly drop about 7.5% on the battery life here, being in 70-degree weather inside a home. So if you figure that it's going to be sitting out on a beach, 90-degree weather, on your tailgate, for example, on your truck or whatever, and you got this thing running, I would expect that number to almost double. So I wouldn't be surprised if you use 15% of the battery just making ice. And here's the amount of ice Carl made last night. We didn't take any of that. He says, as he nearly decapitates his arm with the lid. There we go. There's a lid. But there's the amount of ice Carl made last night. So I figure that's about enough for a drink. You know, maybe 2 drinks. So, of course, like 3 or 4 if you alcoholing it up. But the very little ice there for 8% of the battery life. I understand where some people can be a little bit, and more than just a little bit, annoyed with this thing when it comes to that doing on completely unplugged. And if you think about it, people are outside doing this stuff, and they're out camping. You got what, two of these batteries? If you can afford to snag 2 of these batteries, they're kind of expensive at $150-ish a pop. I'll put that on the screen now, how much a separate battery would cost on Amazon. So I can understand how people would be annoyed that it takes so much freaking energy to do this at that level, when you're sitting out there and you're in the sun and you're enjoying your time, and you're going to be there literally all day, perhaps 2 or 3, and you've just wasted 10%, 20% of your only battery, or one of your only batteries, on enough ice for 2 drinks. So yeah, I can understand that in that kind of confines and regard. If we had anywhere like that around here, I might talk Carl into dragging. I ain't dragging this thing outside. I can't do that. But I might talk Carl into dragging this thing outside into the sun and seeing exactly how much energy it would take out there. But we don't really have that ability here where we are in Indiana. Like right now it's like 80 degrees outside, I think, and although sunny, plenty windy and chill, feels like 75. So anywho, I can understand everybody's annoyance with that, I'll say. Now let me see here, just beeped at me, so alright, nope, not what I wanted. Still 90%. Oops. There we are, hit the button. Let me take it out, let the water drain a little bit. I have just noticed something. It's got lights in the cooler. That is very cool. I give it points for that. All right. So yeah, that's my semi-official take on this whole thing. We're letting it drip down. We don't want all that water. Drop it in there. There we go. There you are. Oh, I meant to do that. One lone cube out there. Very economical on water, I'll give it that. 92%. I'm going to do this a couple more times, just for verification purposes, just to make sure that as the battery goes down, it doesn't start dropping dramatically. And plus, I want to use up all the water that's in there, because I don't want to dry that out. And if anything changes, I'll put it here. Here we have sound now. Okay, that's the third go around. Pardon my arm. 86% for the second go round of the battery, rather. That's the second go round of the battery. Third time of running ice through it totally. That's what the ice looks like now. So, gonna dump this and see about making more. Okay, this is time number 3. It was about 77. I had to walk away to wash my hands and it dropped down to 76. Let me see here. Here's the ice cubes, what they look like in the water. Here's a tray. After all, these are cubes to be used, so we don't want dirty hands to be touching them. That would just defeat the point in making ice cubes with clean water. Okay, so it's stuck. And again, don't just yank up on this as if it's pull start on an old lawnmower. You might regret doing that. So, oops. And of course, don't just turn it off like I just did. And yeah, I'm going to pull these cubes out pretty soon, and then we'll restart it. Okay, so I gotta do a little bit of running around here real quick. 75% so far after 3 makes out of this. That's how much approximately 2 runs in the ice maker this gets. That's what they look like the third go around. And I completely 100% did this on purpose. I didn't accidentally drop it on the lead and decide to just use it as an example first. So, yeah, totally. I know y'all 100% believe me. But that's what the ice looks like right now. And we're going to run this through again after I get back. Okay, so 71%. I was away a little bit. I'm back. And we're going to check the level. It's still above the minimum. Technically, it's right at the minimum right now for the ice maker portion, if you could see that. Pardon me for touching the microphone again. So shed some light on the situation. There we are. See where the minimum's at. There we are. And we're going to start it all over again. And be back in about 15 minutes. So 60% now. I'm going to run it one more time. This is going to be time number 5, I believe. If it's not, I'll correct myself. This one here is not immediate like I did the others. The others were immediately after. This one, time got away from me as I went around and did other things. Which I apologize about that. Sometimes it's hard to sit and watch an ice maker make ice. It's about like watching water boil. It's dull. Anyway, here we go. But we're going to double check here, 60%. There we are. That's what one of them looks like. Not bad. That one's dirty. Now the hand is dirty, so I'll switch camera. There we are. And we'll do one more time. And that'll probably be the last one I do. So roughly about 5 times in 70-degree weather to get some ice up, and it doesn't really give you a ton of ice. It gives you enough to fill a couple of glasses here. And I'm actually going to make, it's actually a good test. Give me just a second. Okay, so 59%, time number 4, and what we're going to do here is we're going to actually see how much that cube fell out. So I'm not using that one, but we're going to see how much ice from here fits into here, so you can get a visual indication of exactly how much ice you're getting in one of these runs. So since one cube fell out, I'll put a single cube, if I can get a single cube without destroying everything over here. Actually, I won't. Yeah, see, here we go. So much ice is left. It's all about 3 cubes in there for one glass. That's how much ice you get out of one run. I put the dirty cube in there, didn't I? I sure did. Shit. Well, yeah. Now I get to rerun and toss all this ice again, but y'all get the idea. I'll put about 3 cubes here. That is one full run of this ice tray right there. So if you figure this is the 4th one there, and it brought it down to about 60% from those 4 runs, I get why people get annoyed with that. And being at 58%, I'm not going to run this anymore. So we got about 4 times to get it about 60% down to about 60% on the battery. We're trying to run it down to 50% to store the battery. So that gives you an idea of exactly how much ice you actually are getting out of this thing when you do the ice maker portion of this. It's good for a glass. It's good for tossing ice in a small cooler if you're just taking a small cooler with you as you go around somewhere instead of this big heavy thing. But it's not good for, say, filling up everybody's drinks, for example. I don't think it was designed with that. I think it was designed for the small shot glasses, because if I had these small shot glasses for whiskey, that would actually be just fine for that. You can get about 4 drinks out of that while you wait for that to keep making more ice. So that's actually the whole thing, kit and caboodle there. Honestly, if we probably saved on this trip that we took about $300 in food just with this thing, though. Because eating out, even at a fast food restaurant these days, you're spending $30 for 2 people to eat out at a fast food place, McDonald's, Taco Bell. I'm not talking about something even fancy for fast food, like Chick-fil-A would be considered more fancy than McDonald's. And it's costing you $30 there. Whereas you can bring sandwich meats and fruit and bread and whatever else and drinks, and both sides, you can actually don't even have to have the divider in there. That divider pulls right out if you need it to. You could set this second side up to whatever you want it had. Earlier we had it on 30 degrees. You can set it whatever you need to. It is brilliant for that, but it is a refrigerator. That's the thing at the end of the day. It ain't like a cooler where you can wipe it out with bleach, with one of the bleach wipes, set it aside until you need it next summer. This is a refrigerator, and refrigerators don't store. You got to keep them running. So right now where it is, it's going to be Crazy Carl's drink fridge when he's in the house, and when we're on the go, it's the food fridge for when everybody's taking a trip somewhere. So that's kind of the idea behind it. Anyways, that's it for now. If you enjoyed this video, you can give us one of these. That would actually help us out, because that tells YouTube to show this to more people. If you have a friend that's thinking about one of these, send this video to them. I'd be very honored if you did. And if you enjoyed this enough, we'd be glad if you subscribed. Thank you much, and have a good day.